Economics from the University of the West Indies, Mona, and began his career at the Bank of Jamaica, where he monitored financial system risk exposures. Over the years, he has worked with the Guardian Group as manager for Risk and Research, Capital and Credit Securities Limited, as the manager for Research and Portfolio Management, JMB Group, as the Group Sovereign Investment Analyst, and served as the Vice President of Investment Strategy at a real estate investment company. While at JMB, he co-founded Rosnito Holdings, thank you, a distribution company where he now serves as the Chief Financial Officer. Later, he established Value Zone Financial Services Limited, St. Lucia, an investment holding company, and Value Zone Financial Services Jamaica Limited, which offers business coaching, valuation, advisory, and management services to both local and international businesses. A long list, amen. In 2019, answering a call to entrepreneurship, Mr. Simister transitioned fully into his companies, broadening his influence as a business coach and financial speaker. His passion for business advisory and public speaking led him to form Aruka Media and Communication Limited, which produces the Business End, airing on Gospel JA and YouTube with the aim of empowering others through insights into effective business management and growth strategies. His interests also include football, playing dominoes, and writing poetry, which led him, of course, to publish an anthology, The Ocean's Escape, available on Amazon. Please help me make welcome Mr. Zedayne Simister.
Thank you. First off, I want to thank the Holy Spirit. I want to thank God for bringing us here today. And I'm certain that through this presentation and a presentation before, that we will certainly be blessed and somebody will be made better for it. So I want to pick up the Holy Spirit, pick up God. I also want to extend my thank you to the management team and executive leadership of Dirty Hand Designs. So I'm remembering that name from tonight, giving that exercise, and among other things, I'm looking to do some business with Dirty Hand Designs. Now, I also want to special welcome, thanks to the BBJ and other strategic partnerships and partners that you have here today. And of course, I want to thank you guys for turning out in a busy schedule, busting through the traffic, and of course, to stay beyond eating hours and sleeping hours. So, with that said, I won't be long, right? I'll try my very best not to be long. Alright, so I am also sorry for the long introduction. Sometimes when you are ambitious and you strive, you tend to branch off in multiple businesses and multiple income streams. So I apologize for that. So the outline of the presentation I would speak about the economic landscape. Because what I believe is that where we operate in, what do we do? We have to understand the foundations of where we are operating in order for all these businesses that we have in order to flourish. We have to know what is happening, right? We don't exist outside of an economy. Now, once we understand that, then we can see where our business model fits in. And this business model concept and ideas are that you don't have to stay in one business model for your entire duration of your business. You can actually adjust, be flexible, move through different business models as it fits to the economic landscape, and that's what we're trying to establish here. By bringing out a few examples, the persons can understand that you can see your business model right now, but you must evolve as the economic climate changes. And of course, we want to speak about the systems that you must have in place in order to access opportunities. Of course, this is capturing opportunities. Now, we also want to speak about how you implement some of those systems and strategies in order to capture what? Opportunities. And now we speak about capturing opportunities, but what exactly are those opportunities? So we have to then speak about what are the areas of opportunity for us here as business persons, and of course, also in our personal lives. And of course, I will leave you with a few tips, not that you guys need it, because based on what I've seen from Dirty Hand Designs, you may not even need it. I'm sure many of you in your pitches, you may not even need some of those tips, but nonetheless, I might just waste your time and go through a few. Alright? Now, what is the economic landscape that we exist in? Now, many of us will speak about what we see on CNN and in the news about election coming up in the US and local elections around the corner. But the economy and what's happening, and the temperature and the feel of the economy is so much more than Trump about eating cats and all these things. It is more than that. And so what happens here is that on a global scale, IMF is saying that we expect a more stable growth going for 2024 and 2023 in around 3.2%, coming from 3.3% last year to 2023. What does that mean for Jamaica? That means with a stable growth means that we can still access international trade, we can still have our businesses exporting to these countries, because it's not like they're going to be falling off the cliff. So therefore, there's still an opportunity for us here in Jamaica to have international trade, and of course, touch our international partners for investment to flow back into Jamaica. Now, one of the reasons for that growth to wane slightly of 1% is that we have realized we were in an increase in interest rate environment globally. Now it's changing, but we were in that here before. What that means is that high interest rate environment, many of us would have gone to the bank to ask for funding. It's no different from overseas when those international companies go to their particular financial institution in order to get funding. They were facing high interest rates. When you face high interest rates, you're a little bit more timid. You don't want to push yourself out and incur that high interest rate cost. So you might pull back economic activity somewhat. But that would be the reason why some of these feed-through costs would have hit some of the businesses' bottom line, and they would have scaled back a little bit. Having seen that though, what is happening now is that the Fed dropped their interest rate by 50 basis points, which is 5.5%. So they moved from 5.5% to about 5% now, because they're trying to stimulate the economy to grow. Now, if they're trying to stimulate the economy to grow, what happens? Let's say if US sneeze, we catch a cold. That means that whatever is happening over there, it might affect us in a positive or negative way. Similarly, you will see later that the Bank of Jamaica recently cut their interest rate. Now, it's not that one person is watching the other person, so you cut, I'm going to cut. No. Really and truly, what it really is an investment decision that is being made. If I am somebody that has money, and I receive it in Jesus' name, and the gentleman from Brymark, which is a construction company, he says, you know what? I am offering you 5%, right? And let's just say, assume that he is United States and he's offering 5%. That means that he's a stronger economy, so he doesn't need to go on a high interest rate. He'll give me 5%. Now, when I look at Norris look like a Jamaican, Morris, so he has to come to me and compensate me more for me to take on that additional risk. So he's going to offer me 8%. So I'm going to go to Norris and say, okay, is that difference in risk of 3%, is it compensating me for the additional risk of investing with or giving my money with Norris? If for some reason Brymark wants to lower his interest rate, which is representing US now. He wants to lower his interest rate because he wants to stimulate some growth in Primer. I'm trying to think with design, with dirty design. I'm saying your name so nobody will forget. Primer from today. So if Primer represents the United States country, he's going to say, I'm lowering my interest rate to 4%. Now, if Norris sees that, which represents Jamaica, now he can say, all right, I'm going to still borrow money from Zedayne at 8%. No, he's going to say, I don't need to because the differential is 4%. So I'm going to lower my thing now from 8 to 7. So that still keep the same 3% spread, but I'm going to lower it. So therefore, his interest cost now is lower because Primark, which is the United States, wants to lower his interest rate to stimulate growth. That is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why when US Fed rates cut, Jamaica and other countries decide to drop rates. So don't make me think when I think about it in the news like somebody watching somebody and following them. It's really an intuitive. Yes, class, that's it.
I thought it was because of the national currency that we have here, the US.
Yeah, well, no, US is not our national currency. But the thing is though, what can happen is portfolio switching that he's mentioned and people borrowing money from different, so therefore the risk differential has to maintain the same. Now, one of the reasons why the United States have decided that they're going to, in a position where they can cut the rates, is because they're seeing the impetus of inflationary pressures weighing somewhat. No, this is done in spite of the Ukraine war and the Israel-Hamas conflict. So they're seeing that. So they're expecting inflation to jump to about 3% in 2024, and then to about 1.9% in 2025. Now that 1.92% is a magical number for the United States. They tend to want to have their inflation around 2%. All right. So let's move on. So what's happening in the region? Latin America people, we're talking about Colombia, Argentina, Bolivia, Costa Rica, those countries. And the rest of the Caribbean is expected to grow about 2.1% in 2024, and then you see some slight improvement to 2.5 in 2025. All of that means that the collaborative effort that is in and around the Caribbean along with Jamaica, we expect to benefit from it. Now, we also saw, as earlier mentioned, that the BOJ dropped its rate by 25 basis points, moving to 6.75% in August. Now, we expect a similar situation because they're saying that the inflationary pressures is waning somewhat. I know many of us don't feel it in our pockets, but that's what they're saying, right? The inflation pressures are dropping. And one of the reasons for that is that we were coming out of a high interest rate environment where they saw that in order to mop up what they call mop up the excess liquidity, they had to increase rates. Now, in simple terms, that means the Bank of Jamaica and the government became a borrower from you guys. So they come into the market and they say, listen, I want to take the excess money from you, come lend me. One of the reasons for them to do that, imagine if I had the only phone in this room and everybody wants to use this phone. What's going to happen? The highest bidder is going to pay for this phone, correct? So therefore, if you bid for this phone, a primer, and dirty hands design bid for this phone, and every single person bid for this phone, I'm going to sell it to the highest bidder, correct? That means that if I take the money out of you guys' pocket, then your ability to bid for the highest price becomes reduced, correct?
Yes.
So that is essentially what the Bank of Jamaica did when they increased interest rate. It's nothing to scare you guys. I know they talk very highfalutin and fancy word, but it's simple that. They simply went in and took the money from your pocket and said, come invest it with me, so that you don't have the money to go chase the final products and goods in across the economy. And that is what caused inflation. Alright? Good.
Correct.
Right, that is demand for inflation. Wonderful. So that is what they did. And when they realized in doing that though, the economic activity would have waned. You know why? Brian Mark would have had $1,000 to spend on something else. But because he decided to be smart and good, he could invest with the Bank of Jamaica at high interest rate, it means that less money is in circulation to buy the final goods and produce that all of us here who are business people have to sell. So what happened is that the purchasing of all these persons across the economy dropped somewhat. So economic activity waned in a high interest rate environment. Also on the borrowing side, if interest rate is high, we ain't going out to borrow from the bank. We rather use our retained earnings and money from our own coffers to fund the expansion of our business. That's very costly. Now, Brian Mack started to go into construction of commercial spaces. He's not going to go and borrow the money at no double digits because he knows that if he builds it, he might get 30% if he's lucky on the developer's profit. He knows that. So he's not going to go into a situation where he's borrowing at 12%. It means that between 12 and 30, he's making 18. And that's not enough for the risk that he's taking on. Correct? Am I good? Alright, I'm talking. So you're not talking because I say amen. Amen. Good. Good. Alright. So what does that mean is that Jamaica too would have seen some level of stable or contraction somewhat. Luckily for us, we did not contract, but we barely grew at 0.1% in our last quarter, April to June quarter. Now, with the election next year, I'm sure the government is reaching out to the governor of Bank of Jamaica and saying, do something. So they started to cut interest rates because they will also see lower impetus for growth in inflation. And of course, lower economic activity. So we expect to see another round of cut for interest rates generally. Now, some of the banks are sticky downwards in their interest rates. They're not starting to cut as yet. There's a few institutions. I heard that CIBC is starting to cut their interest rate offerings to the public. So we expect that once Bank of Jamaica cuts again at their next meeting, then we expect that interest rates will be trending down. What does that mean for you business people? If you have an expansion of a project plan, you plan to borrow, if you can wait a few months, and therefore you realize that you can get something at a lower cost, so that you're able to what? Be beneficial in terms of your spread in your business offering. So was that good?
Yes.
Good. Alright, so we'll give one term already. Wait a little bit for the interest rate to fall so that it can move forward. Now, the business model that we spoke about, now many of us operate, believe it or not, within a business model. Some of us may not know that we're operating in a specific business model, but you are. For you satisfying a particular good or bringing value to your customers, you're actually satisfying that through a process, through a model. And we're trying to explain what a model looks like and see if this to fit inside the macroeconomic space and landscape of what we exist in now, which is an economy in which we want to spur growth. There'll be a lot of impetus, there's a lot of spending, there's a lot of motivation in order for us to increase economic activity, especially in light of election period coming. Now, so simple business model is how you derive value or you bring value to your end customer. Now, the main part of that is your value proposition. And of course, all of us know that we are in some level of business school or hear people talk about value proposition all the time. When you go to pitch, the little pitch thing that we were doing here, people always ask, what is your value proposition? Basically, what persons are doing up here in that 1 minute, 60 seconds, is pitching their value proposition. They're telling you why you should choose them over somebody else, why their product is superior or service is superior to somebody else, and what is the value they're bringing to their customer. Now, what they did not tell you is how they did that. They just tell you what the value proposition is. Now, the business model goes a bit further than that key point of telling you what it is, but telling you how they did it. And that's what business model is about. So let's move on. Now, what are some of the common types of business models? Everybody know the retail one, where we take goods from the manufacturers and we sell it to the end user. No, I think greatest example here is Price Smart. Again, distribution of you in taking a product and reshuffle it and sell it to an end user, and you basically in retail, right? Good. If you're in producing something from scratch, such as Grace Kennedy and other manufacturers, you're basically doing a manufacturer business model. Now, fee for service. We know that, we know the delivery services, we know persons who are in consultants. Is there any consultant here? Yes, I'm a consultant as well. So yes. So basically, you're doing a fee for service because you're basically saying, I'm offering my service to you, whatever that service is, meeting a demand, and solving an issue, solving a problem, and I'm charging you a fee for it. That's basically what it is. So implicitly though, you can be a different business model augmented somewhere along like a food coach, because I believe at some point in time, Dirty Hand Design is doing a fee for service as one part of the business line. They're also doing a retail side of their business line, and I'm sure they're going to go into manufacture at some point in time. And of course, if we go through the various business models, you will see that at different juncture, different business line, you're experiencing different business models. Subscriptions, we all know subscription-based things like persons are in app designs or in you're in fitness.
Yes.
You're in fitness, so you may have a subscription business model as well. So persons come on, a person may say they subscribe to using their fitness programs and stuff like that. They have freemium business line which offers a basic version of the thing, and as you sign on to it, it's going to message pop up and say, if you want the premium version, pay a little bit more money. Right?
Or uninstall it.
Or uninstall it, or something like that. Right? So you can think about your business and see if you have some online services or stuff that you can offer. You can think about giving what they call the basic product, and then you can decide when you lower them in, when they have gotten into your product and liking your product, you can then decide that I'm going to top it on and then start to come on. Especially in an environment where persons are very cagey in spending, you may want to try something like this. So Jamaica, you might want to try something like this. And of course, offer them additional benefits for the premium brings to them. Everybody know bundling, put everything together, you get you get one price, you have a nice big one price.
That Jamaica.
Pro does that well, as an example. But of course, other businesses can do it, especially if you sell different products, you can have a bundle. I'm sure Dirty Hand Design does that, and the rest of the businesses here would have known great detail about that. Now, marketplace, of course, you can create your marketplace where persons come and buy it. So I was actually fascinated having a private conversation here with the general manager for Dirty Hand Design, and he says that he actually sells stuff for persons. So he's actually doing a quasi marketplace, so you can actually do that. And for persons who have a Facebook marketplace accounts and stuff like that, you can actually do that. Shopify account, you can actually sell for other persons. Pool market is an example of a marketplace. A person actually goes, a business model works well, and a lot of persons have been using it. Affiliate business model is social media representing different brands, and the different influencers come out and say, I'm supporting that brand, However, I caution persons as business persons here, because sometimes we want to reach a particular crowd and we want to use the social market influencers. Based on my experience, you have to be careful of the ones you choose, because they have to represent your brand at all times. A lot of times people sign them on because they're popular, but they don't convert those popularity into sales, and that's because they don't live the life. So you're talking about selling fitness and healthy lifestyle, but we talk about it for 30 seconds on their social media, or talk about it and wear the brand, but you see them out at night drinking alcohol and stuff. It does not fit well with your brand. Correct? So in choosing social media influencers, you have to do a thorough background check and ensure that they understand that they're taking on a lifestyle. your brand is a lifestyle. You're bringing it onto a family, a group of persons. And that is what you want to ensure, that their social media influence and their affiliates actually represent your brand well. Now the razor blade, it is just that. The razor blade model is where, just like you buy the razor machine, and there's an inexpensive component, it is the blades. If you have well, I heard you mention about having the t-shirts. So he says that he makes a durable t-shirt and makes a durable bag, and he wonders why he makes such a thing, because he's in a conundrum and he's saying, I want to sell more, the bag is too good. What he could have done, and I'm giving him free advice, what he could have done is to sell accessories to the bag. So therefore, he has the main component, which is like the razor machines, and the cheaper version is the blades. So if you sell a durable product that people like, you can accessorize the product. So Pandora bracelet is one of those. You go and you travel and you add on the Pandora with wonderful. So you have all the charms, sorry. Yes. Crocs is a good one as well. So you realize that once you sell those products, you can actually accessorize the products, and then you can increase sales going forward. Right? And you have the reverse as well, which is just like what iPhone does. They sell you the expensive version up front, and then tell you you have to pay for storage and pay for everything else. Right? The importance here is that Apple before was seen as a premium product, best in class. That's why they could do that. A person wanted the hand device, right? If you are selling in your markets, if you have the premium product, the best in class, then you can use a reverse razor blade model. But if you don't, person are going to go to your competitors, right? Now, Apple is losing customers to Samsung because persons are realizing that the Android. Well, personally. And the Samsung now has better features and camera. It can zoom in from afar now. Before it was Apple that has those features. Samsung now is taking over the market. Right? So I would caution you, if you're going into this business model, you must have best in class, and your features and your products cannot be easily copied. Alright? Alright, franchise. We know about the KFC restaurant of Jamaica got the franchisee and stuff. And I heard, if I heard correctly, I may be mistaken, but I heard correctly that Dirty Hand Designs also have locations or persons sending business to them from Monterey, correct? You can operate even in Barbados if you want. Once you're able to franchise out that work and you can test the quality, you can actually go over there, train persons, have a monthly training, they pay you to come and train them. They use the best machine and your techniques, and you can actually be operating outside of Jamaica, anywhere in Jamaica, anywhere in the world, with your expertise and your trade secrets, and they pay you for that quarterly or yearly basis. Yes. Free advice again. Alright. So we have pay as you go, and of course any other business that wants to have that, you can have that. So if you're in fitness, if you're in beauty care, could you remind me of your business?
Sure, body essentials, surgical skin center.
Go again?
Body essentials,
Yes.
surgical skin center.
Wonderful. So she could have other outlets in and across Jamaica, in and across the world by using franchise model, right? And that is another way to think about it. Now, pay as you go, of course, digital. JPS tried it once. I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but they had pay as you go. Brokerage, of course, we know the brokerage, brokers, insurance persons, and stuff like that. Now, what I'm really trying to say is that you can use any of these business models, you can augment them, you can have different business and different business models as you see fit. But you must be cognizant of the market environment in which you operate in order for you to be successful, and of course your target audience. Alright, the business systems now. Business system, I'm not just talking about IT, I'm talking about all your processes, your plans, your software. It must be designed to complement and enhance your business model. It makes no sense that you're in printing and you're not going digital, you're not having the best of technology. So his onboarding system is now fully digitized, if I heard it correctly. That means that he has taken the teeth and pains out of the onboarding process of getting a customer to the end product. All you have to do, he says, you just tell me an idea, leave it to me and just pay money and that's it. What he has done effectively is that his systems complement his business model of retail, of franchising, of all those other things, and he's able to produce his product to his end user, produce that value to his end users, it making it the best value, and increases the value proposition, increasing the value to his customers, and his customers will love him for it. And I'm imploring you guys to also have your systems that complements your business model that you're doing. You can't be saying that you're giving people better experience and you still have your systems and stuff on paper, or it is tedious to onboard your clients, right? Now, how do you design your system? You identify your target audience, know who you're working with. Somebody who is in construction, like Brian Mack, he can't necessarily onboard his customer digitally. So he has to find a way to make his customers' onboarding process seamlessly and in ease with some bit of efficiency in his process and his systems. So his business systems will be different from dirty hand designs, just because of his target audience is different. The more wants some 3D printing, the more wants some numbers and stuff like that, which it goes through the negotiation process and the fine-tuning, which is a little bit different from somebody just telling the idea what they want, click buy, and everything else is done. They have to be in constant dialogue with their target audience. You define the problem, you understand the offerings that you have, and in this case, there's sometimes that you may develop or hear a problem that your client is having. What you need to do is to have a system where you collect information and you find solutions. It might turn out that you have a new business line once you have done your feasibility analysis to realize that, okay, I have a lot of customers coming to me with this problem. I've not considered a business line, maybe I need to tweak it a little bit and strategize and to have that new as a business line. Of course, you document the need, you deal with key partners, and I put MCV Figaro on it right here because the reason being is that you may not have a system as complete as Dirty Hands design. However, you can have the payment button of MCV on that website and you can help them to pay through your platform or your info. If you're a consultant, just do a landing page, do your thing, they need compliance things, put all your documents and they can just come and put that payment button on it. So therefore you are able to onboard your clients and payment with ease. Correct? That's the workaround. So I put that there just to plug. I don't work in NCB. I am not a thing, but I'm just telling you guys of how to monetize and of course find it. Of course you monetize the solutions and you go your test period. Now, implementing, what's that? Good? Okay. Good. Free endorsement, yes. Alright, so a lot of times people have to appreciate that information that you gather from your customers is important. A lot of people pay for surveys. So I would implore you at this stage, whenever your customers come in and speak with you, gather information from them. So your gatekeepers, your customer service rep, person who is speaking with your customers, let them train them to speak to the customer to say, how are you doing this afternoon? How are you? Are you doing well? What can I do for you? How was your last job? Did you like so and so? Let them ask pertinent questions for you to get feedback of where you need to improve and to push through what is called your goals and customer satisfaction. So you communicate your goals with your team. You want to engage your team and focus across the tasks that need to be done. So I heard you said that in the early stages, your fellow partner there was the person that organizes the things, right? So you want to have persons on teams that are strategic in organizing the plans that you have and ensure that you're able to execute. Don't leave it to think here about we all brainstorm, so we all do it. You have to be intentional about who you want to have and when. Execute the plans, but of course you want to allocate resources. And I know sometimes we are at a different stage in our growth and development, and we want to ensure that we don't spend a lot of money. But sometimes if you go cheap on the resources, you get a cheap result. You have to see the thing for the long term. And every time you spend your resources and spend your money, it's actually an investment into the business in order to make it profitable in the future. And you have to stay agile. That's a nice word, NC, nice to use, agile. And you want to get closure, of course, and of course conduct your iterative analysis. Now, what are the areas of opportunities? Quickly, because time is far spent and I know the person wants to go home. The areas of opportunities what I see is that in agro-processing. So if your business is linked to agro-processing or you can get into agro-processing, that is what you need to do. You need to push there. And of course, if you're looking for people to sell to, you need to sell to the persons who are agro-processing. And agro-processing, Brian Mack, is an area in which you probably need to, I don't know if you're able to get some clients from that, but what is an easy way for a person to buy agricultural land, go into agro-processing, and then kind of change the use into commercial use. Right? So a lot of persons are going there. When you buy agricultural, when you buy agricultural land and you change the use, the price automatically increases. Right? So that's advice there. Good. First, I'm going into mining, going into energy. So the energy that I said, a lot of persons going into Jamaica to conserve is really like solar. So if you're into solar businesses, those persons are going to be doing well in this time. So if they sell to solar persons who are in that business line, supposed to do well. Manufacturing is supposed to do well in the medium to long term because we're expecting interest rates to come down. And we expected them to try to boost economic activity, the person are going to buy end products, right? So you could get into that as well. Tourism, infrastructure, educational services. If you are trained in your respective area, you can offer training as well. You don't necessarily have to do the service only, you can train other persons to do the actual thing that you're actually selling. Animation, medical tourism. A lot of persons are coming to Jamaica are coming for the help in terms of the home care. There are a lot of businesses that are birthing out of that phenomenon. And of course, film production. In terms of financial services, there's a knowledge-based knowledge processing outsourcing that is happening. We had a kickoff of the BPO, now it's the KPO, right? A lot of persons are entering and giving their services as consultants, as administrative services, stuff like that. If you are into that area, you can of course go into that. Real estate, Brian Matt there is going to do extremely well when interest rate comes down. And you can also partner with persons along with those things. Foreign currency, somebody mentioned about foreign currency earlier. It's also a good way for you to get into foreign currency. No. A lot of persons have their business, right? The business make cash. And what they do, they keep their cash that the business make on the bank accounts. I implore you, the unused cash that you don't have to use any given day, you can convert it to US dollars. If I have a few US dollars, keep it in US dollar accounts. The next month come, you buy this little amount again. Somebody coming from overseas, they want to change out some money. I don't go to Gambia, I'm here. You change out some monies and you put it inside the account, no matter how small it is. Because what we know about Jamaican economy, the local dollar will devalue. And one of the reasons for that is that we import more than we export. So the end users will always want to demand the US dollar. We're coming up on Black Friday, we're coming up on Christmas, the dollar is going to start to run. So if you were in possession of some US dollars or 10% US dollars, if you buy them now, they're going to do work more towards the end of the year. Alright? Exactly, well, you can use it as well. What persons tend to do, and it's just a secret, the banks won't tell you, but from September down to December, the dollar is going to run. It's always run. And exactly, always, always. I'm telling you that. The ones who will tell you that. And MCB's friend over there, she will tell you. I'm not looking at her. I'm not looking at her. She will tell you that they have a liability that they have to fund in September. So they're going to start accumulate some money to pay that liability. Correct? Alright. So equipment rental is also a business that is going to be taken off, and that one of the reasons is that construction will be taken off. So persons are going to want to rent equipment. So you don't have to be a big construction company such as Rima. You can have a little backhoe, buy a little thing, and then you can actually cement mixer, you can buy a little thing, and you can rent out these jackhammer and stuff like that. Correct? Yeah. I'm not killing a thing, right? You understand? I'm just giving some advice, right? Right. Good. Affiliate marketing as well and work from home. Now, if you could facilitate some work from home gigs, or of course, branch off into that, you could also do well. Because it's the BPO market, it started out by a few persons just have a little space and employ some persons and it blossomed. I don't know why persons don't think, let me go and get some work from home jobs, employ the persons to do it, collect the spread between what the company is paid, and I collect the spread off the top. I don't know what to do.
Yes. Brilliant idea.
Free advice again. Free advice again. I don't know. Alright, so last but not least on this opportunity and side gigs is that you could also sell used items. So Facebook Marketplace is of course doing well. eBay and Facebook Marketplace is doing well. So you don't have to own the actual items. You can actually sell it for some persons as well, right? On the used market items. So here are some tips. How am I doing on time? Good. I'm finished. Alright, so marketing and market your brand. You must be a walk-in billboard for your brand. And I'm happy that this is the meaning that I'm at. Because Dirty Hand Designs is telling you, I'm going to facilitate that.
Yeah.
If you're driving, your car could be a walk-in billboard. It's free advertisement.
No.
You're not paying for it.
Yeah, March comes up.
No.
Is the billboards?
Billboard paper, not your car. Yes.
They're stuck on your feet now?
If you're well I've collected it from right. You are going to an interview, you're going somewhere, put on your shirt.
Yeah.
Everywhere I say put on this shirt. Right? It doesn't matter where you are. Never be too ashamed to promote your brand. If you're going to a corporate event or wear your branded polo shirt, throw on a jacket over, but wear your branded polo shirt. Be a walking brand. Cross promote against your nearby businesses and persons. Now, persons can, if you're in construction, you can be cross promoting in real estate companies. You can be cross marketing with accountants and of course lawyers, right? So chambers of citizen law need to get in touch with right. All right. Social media marketing, of course, everybody is doing that, but I would say do tailored and pointed social media marketing. The mass marketing of social media, it has been proven in research that it does not convert into instant sales, and of course, long-term sales. Community events such as this, I'm sure that Dirty Hand Designs would have gotten an additional customer from who? Myself, right? Because he kept an event, and I'm seeing the benefit from what he offers, and I'm now saying I'm going to turn that into revenue for him. Alright? So you can do that in your own spaces, in your own communities, and of course build that around. Loyalty programs, that also helps. And in terms of your products and services, we know about the diversification and bundling, we know about extended hours for certain clients. Now we know we work long and hard. Being a business owner, it's almost like you have a child, a 24-hour job. But you could have different time slots for different persons. You know persons are going to work. You know parents are very busy. They have the kids that take to you. You could extend your hours or have a different type of hours for clients such as that. No longer you need to close shop at 4:30. Be creative with your opening hours so that you're able to meet more clients and of course get your revenue. Collect customer feedback. I can't say that enough. And in terms of financial management, you need to pay yourself. I know a lot of persons they don't pay themselves a particular salary. I'm saying if you challenge yourself to pay yourself a particular salary each month, what that does is that forces you, that light the fire under you to work hard to make sure that you're having that cash flow. Correct?
Yeah.
And of course, it will open up doors for you in terms of getting personal credit and stuff like that. Reinvest the profits. Reinvest the profits that you don't necessarily sit on the banks because they're going to pay 1% or so. Not showing any stones, 1% or so. Right? And then what you can do is to buy foreign currency, like I said, to improve your ability for your funds to grow. And of course, look for higher yielding assets for your funds to grow. Prepare for market changes. That's why you need to be constantly looking on the economic landscape. You may not be able to understand everything that you're saying, but please have somebody come and talk to you about what is happening to your. So if you have a board meeting, invite somebody periodically to come and speak to you about what's happening in the economy, where's the economy going. Pay one of the small stipend, but it helps you because you're able to use that and chart your path for the next 6 months, the next year, so it's always pays to know what's happening in the economy. It might seem dull and boring, but it gives you the foundation to understand the landscape, so you know if you need to pivot from your business model into another one, you need to augment it with another business line. That's the value in it. You're able to plan for the future. Now set your long-term goals. Now I like the fact that one of the charts that Dirty Hand Design put up is where they are, where they're going, and the heaven flow. The whole thing though, I wouldn't put that. I'm going straight ahead. I'm going straight ahead. So I would have a straight line to IPO, and I have no dip, right? I don't believe in dips, right? I believe in more for 2024. So I like the fact that he has that. So each of us need to have some of those things for our companies. We might not meet it, but once you put it on your vision board, once you see it and you declare it and you say it with faith and you say it in the name of Jesus, it will happen. Trust me, I'm living proof of it. So you need to do that. You need to chart your path, and if you miss 1 year deadline, what it says to you is that I need to put it on the next year to ensure that it works, right? So that is also good for you to have those plans. Prepare for fluctuations. We don't have a perfect crystal ball. So he says for 2028 he wants to go IPO. When he come in contact with Valley Zone Financial Services, he go IPO in 2026. Who knows, right? So prepare for fluctuations and of course, also protect yourself away against risk. Now, I can tell you, I own a distribution company, and you have to pay insurance for the vehicle in transit, for the goods in transit. You have to pay insurance for the vehicle, you have to pay insurance for the business, you have to pay insurance for the stuff that you have in the warehouse, you have to pay insurance for the key person, you have to pay insurance all over. But guess what I don't want?
Business.
There you go. Insurance business. I probably need to start one. Free advice. Amen. I receive. But the thing is, you don't want to be lacking because the money I'm paying is still substantially smaller than the value of goods in that warehouse. Right? So I think about it like that and I say, you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense. So you must consider within your own fare what could happen. It could be, God forbid, something should happen to one of the key partners. That downtime, you'll be able to get some compensation for it. So it's something to consider. And of course, manage your personal expenses. It makes no sense that you're in business and you're basically working for your supplier, your staff, the government, and not for yourself. In fact, if you look at the financial statement, many of us were accountants. You look at the financial statement, you know who get paid last? The shareholders. Because you have the revenue up top, your cost of goods sold goes to your suppliers and those persons that you work. Then you have the administrative and the salaries and all those things. I mean, your staff getting paid. Then you have to pay tax on that. So who gets paid again? The government. You know where you get paid from? Dividend. And that is after shareholder profit. The share profit that is after everybody else gets. So therefore, you need to manage your personal expenses to ensure that you have enough money and you've given this business your life to be able to retire well and sell well. Be able to sell the company and pass it on to your kids and other persons for generations to come. I don't have it here, but I remiss of me not to say that if you are in the position to have a board of directors, you can install a board of directors. No, you don't necessarily have to have a board. You can also have an advisory board, where there's a few persons that give you direction and mentorship of how to bring the company forward. Somebody has gone before. You don't have to experience the teeth and pain to get where you want to go. Learn from somebody's experience, learn from somebody else's advice, and you will get the for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simister. Thank you for that high value information. Free, right? High value. So many nuggets and so many things to take away, and I know each of us would have found the value in everything that he has shared, and we thank you. And could we just have another round of applause?